The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
The Stone Zone, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, it's good to be back with you, this great Roger Stone Zone audience. My name is Ken Matthews, and the number is 800-848-9222. Was called back to guest host for Mr. Stone tonight. Always my pleasure to be on the Red Apple Audio Networks. What a day. What a day. Fingers are still crossed regarding Epstein. We talked about this briefly at the end of the show last night. I am more of a skeptic than a cynic. I think a cynic sounds kind of bitter. A skeptic sounds like you're contemplating. Just based on the Webster's Dictionary thing. I'd like to be skeptical. I don't like to be cynical because, as a Christian, someone who prays often, I'm not that cynical, really. I'm not that, I get upset sometimes, but I don't get that angry because at the end of the day, I think things will work out, just not with our government. You probably were wondering, where's he going with this? Holy moly, is he not going to rip our government a new one tonight? No, I'm just getting started. But, the exciting thing about the Epstein vote was, and this is what nobody's really focusing on, especially in the media, mainstream media. And here's the exciting thing. Keep in mind, Trump pushed against this for months and months and months. And anybody that pushed back on President Trump, even if it was respectfully, was viciously attacked. Thomas Massie was attacked, MTG, Tucker, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace. Kash Patel was making light of people concerned about the Epstein files. Even President Trump, again, to this day, I think this is one of the biggest mistakes he made with MAGA, and MAGA brought him to the dance. And we're going to talk a little bit about this tonight. As an original MAGA member, a MAGA OG, and an American Firster, I don't play these GOP, Karl Rove kind of Frank Luntz, Fox News kind of games. I don't play those games. I don't get up and say, what should I be saying today? Who should I be attacking? You see, if you attack people on command, I have trouble with your loyalty. So I always pay attention to this. Who are people attacking? That's how I look at politics in general. Not who's the most famous, who's the wealthiest, which selfie that I have looks the best, okay? I look at who attacks who when the people's wishes are at play. And to me, the Epstein situation was very revealing because I've been onto the Epstein thing since it first happened. And I've connected like many people have. I have not written a book, but I've read a lot of the books on it. I think Whitney Webb's is one of the best set. She's got a 2-book set. Each book's about 2.5 inches thick. So you folks that rely on 15-minute TikTok updates, it may be a little overwhelming for you, but she pretty much lays it out. So most of us in MAGA, most of the American Firsters, and most people with critical thinking skills know what the whole Epstein thing was about, is about, and will continue to be about. And it's about a network that works with intelligence communities to leverage people in power, in particular governments, in particular America's government, and exploit and extort these people to do their will. Have you ever been watching a vote? Have you ever been watching C-SPAN? I'm a geek. So when you're watching an NFL game, chances are that same Sunday afternoon, I'm watching C-SPAN. My wife is yelling up to me, "What are you doing?" I'm just prepping for the show. I just want to get this soundbite. So, and I see a Republican in particular, because that's the party I belonged to for the longest time. And I see a Republican make just a complete idiotic vote, totally against conservatism, totally against America First, totally against Make America Great Again. As long as we're talking about the MAGA team, just remember it was the Tea Party people that brought Trump to the party as well. The remnants of the Tea Party, the remnants of the 9/12 Tea Party. We started up during Obama. It wasn't the GOP, just like it's not the DNC, right? And this is the mistake. This is the crossroads we are at, and this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this in the news media. I'm hearing it from consultants. I'm hearing it from podcasters. There were a whole bunch of podcasters that, they were all about being awake. They were awake. They were red-pilled. They were MAGA. They were telling the truth. And then when the party and when the consultants and when Trump said, okay, let's take it easy on Epstein, they all fell in line. We should have never taken it easy on Epstein. So please don't buy into the, oh, thank God President Trump is releasing the Epstein files. He and a lot of Republicans have fought this for a long time. What I'm paying attention to is people like Thomas Massie and the fact that Thomas Massie, and in a minute I'll share another, I think Tim Burchett, working with Democrats to do what you and I have asked the Republicans to do. And what they do is they attack us, or they attack that person like Thomas Massie or Rand Paul or MTG. They call her a traitor, or they say she's failing Trump. Well, first of all, we're not in the business to work for Trump. I don't work for Trump. I elected Trump. I like Trump. I still support the man. But the dynamic between President Trump and me is I'm one of 350 million people that you swore. Well, you know what your commitment is. I didn't swear to protect and defend Donald Trump or his Constitution, nor did I do that with Biden. And I see we're at this exciting time right now in this country. It's so exciting. Like today, what I take away from, first of all, I do believe they're going to release the Epstein things, but they're going to be redacted because I pointed this out to you yesterday. There's two little things in there that say if it negatively impacts a current investigation, so there's about 7 of them right now, coincidentally all popping up in the last 10 days to use as an umbrella cover so they can redact. Then there's going to be a national security angle as well. You have to ask yourself, what's with the big national security angle? I thought you said it didn't involve other countries and intelligence agencies. See, I don't think they can keep their story straight. I think sometimes that happens. So I do see this as a very big win. But I think the question is this. Are we, is your neighbor, is your congressperson, are they America first, or are they GOP first, donor first, consultant first, Israel first? What first are they? And this is the crossroads we're at, if you're wondering. That's where we're at. That's where the Republican Party is at. That's why the midterms are up in the air. And you could keep pumping you can keep pumping talking points. You can keep Fox News in me all day. But the reality is we We being the people of the United States, both Democrats and Republicans, and I know this for a fact because I talk to a lot of people that don't agree with me on everything. And that's something the media doesn't do much. But you look at Democrats and Republicans, the majority of us, how we feel about Epstein, how we feel about sending money to Ukraine. I have an update on Zelensky in a minute. How we feel about sending money to Israel, how we feel about people trading in the stock market like Nancy Pelosi or Mitt Romney while they're in office. And we all agree on that. This is why this is a decisive moment. Who's to say we couldn't pull progressives over to America first and get rid of the rhinos? You know, we always hear that. That's been the call for years with conservatives, hasn't it? These darn rhinos, Lindsey Graham cracker. We need to take over the party. And this was a big win. Trump's trying to put a nice coat of paint on it. It's all good. I'm releasing it now. Yeah, well, like I said yesterday, you're close to a year late. But one thing you did, when President Trump threatened Massey and he said, I'm not going to endorse MTG. How dare you go against me on this? Dun, dun, dun. See, because of the internet, that's the positive part. We're hip to this game now. We get it. We get it. Every time the Republicans don't want to do an American first thing or a MAGA thing, someone in the Trump administration says, all right, target those people, shut them down. This is ridiculous. I want a list. I want people that are saying don't send money here. I want a list of people that are saying release the Epstein files. And see, but here's the deal. You're outnumbered. This is the problem. What you need in the midterms is voters. And what we Make America Great Again people and voters and everybody, moms from Liberty to Free Pennsylvania, all these organizations are separate from the GOP, and they're separate from the consultants. And this is where some of the panic is. This is why the Republicans are doing a lot to censor people. And this is why TikTok changed hands. Because the panic is not, oh my gosh, the left. No, the panic is the left and the right among the people, my neighbors, who I have enormous respect for, even though I made fun of their Obama sign, and even though I made fun of their Kamala sign. We still agree on more than we disagree on. See, the problem with the parties is you either get in lockstep or you're burned. And that's what happens to every new congressman that goes, or woman, that goes to Washington, D.C. as a freshman, and they're sat down and they're told, here are the rules. And they say, but what about my constituents? I mean, I have both Republicans and Democrats and independents, and they feel like, you're not going to get another dime from us. This is the party speaking. You won't get another dime. We're not going to support you. We're not going to help you. In fact, we might even target you. So shut up and sit down and vote just like McCarthy says, or Mike Johnson says, or let's go in the Wayback Machine. I got a great tan Boehner. John Boehner says, you're going to shut up and you're going to vote like him for the first 2 years. And if you're really good, and if you help us maintain power and you help keep Mitch McConnell in until he's older than a pterodactyl, then maybe you can get something done for your people. This is where the people need to wake up and say, we're done with it. If we don't like the candidate, we're not voting. I will never, ever in my life vote for the lesser of two evils. If I go to my district and they're both turds, I'm not voting for a turd. In fact, hold on a second. Can we get a bumper? I want to get a bumper sticker that says that. Don't vote for a turd. Yes. And also, by electing a turd, I think it hurts the environment. I'm Ken Matthews in for Roger Stone. We're just getting started. Here's the phone number, 800-848-9222. We'll be right back on the Red Apple Audio Networks.
The Stone Zone, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
We're in the zone now. 800-848-9222. My name is Ken Matthews. We're talking about what many perceive as a powerful victory and a turning point, not to be confused with Turning Point USA, which is another topic coming up if we have time today. But MAGA carried the GOP to victory, just like President Trump when he won in 16 and 20 and 24, well, especially in 24, but as much in 2016, there was a lot of down ticket victory that he carried. So we got his momentum going. He started everybody going, America first, make America great again. But don't ever forget, we the voters are keeping the Republican Party going. I know the donors think it's them. This is going to tick a lot of people off because I don't have a lot of money, and donors do. But we so often forget, if we could just get more people like Tim Burchett and Massey and MTG, and I know people they cringe over that. And why are you cringing over that? Because Fox and a whole bunch of other people, including our own party, I'm speaking as a Republican now, they told us, well, you better target this person and you better target that person, and that person's a Nazi and that person's a commie and that person's, oh, shut up. I'm just looking at what these men and women do for the people of their district and what they do for me, my country, my family, my neighbors, period. I don't look at anything else. I don't look at their CPAC speeches. I don't look at their podcast appearances. Are they getting their butt out on the firing line, figuratively speaking, and trying to drain the swamp? Or are they just giving me lip service? I think the lip service is starting to chap. You like that chapstick reference? We'll be back on the Red Apple Audio Networks. I'm Ken Matthews in for Roger Stone.
The Stone Zone, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Thank you, as always, for being here. It is such an honor to be talking to the Stone Zone audience, guest hosting for Mr. Stone today and earlier this week. 800-848-9222. Don't forget, you can also email me directly if you have questions, comments, trolls, threats, anything like that. Ken at KenMatthewsMedia.com. I don't have a radio station address because I live in a van down by the river. But things are going well in the economy. It's a nice van. We're on the Red Apple Audio Networks tonight, and it's great to hear from you from different parts of the country. Republicans are putting pressure on Mike Johnson to advance a congressional stock trading ban bill. Okay? This is right up there with the term limit bill. It's fancy talk, and it's a great photo op, and it's been around for a long time. But now we're starting to see some real fighters come forward, like Tim Burchett. He's very similar to Massey working with Ro Khanna on the Epstein issue. I'm saying this is a victory for us. See, the minute we stop thinking Republican, Democrat, GOP, DNC, RNC, this, that, liberal, conservative, blah, blah, blah. If we think we the people, 350 million of us, and the Constitution, you take the Constitution and we the people, my neighbors, your neighbors, you, me, and the Constitution. Not you, me, and CPAC, or you, me, and Mike Johnson's vacation house, or you, me, and a trip with Epstein, or you, me, and the big donor money from whatever. Just find the people that are not owned, and I would say what do you think the percentage is? What are there, like 435 in the House and 100 in the Senate? So what do you think? Maybe 15% are not leveraged in some. I'm gonna be positive because it's only Wednesday. Let's say 20% are fighters. See, Democrats and Republicans want to keep the true fighters apart. It's the same way that the media wants to keep black going after white and white going after black and Hispanic going after green and blue, and you're supposed to feel this way about China, that way about the Ukraine. Again, fall back, take a breath, and realize this theater of left and right and left and right. This is what keeps most things from getting done. They always say this. They always say things like, if we can reach across the aisle, if we can just do what our constituents ask, and then when you do reach across the aisle and say, hey, let's get these Epstein things released, what happens? Then both parties bury you. You see how it works? It's the same way with the media. If you're not promoting a talking point or the narrative from the day from whatever network that you're attached to, well, you're in trouble. And until we shake that off, we don't have a chance on saving the republic. We can blah all we want, but until we stop people in government from using their intel to get rich, until we expose the real issues behind Epstein, which is an intelligence operation, a blackmail operation, and thousands of victims. I mean, we're seeing the penny ante stuff right now. We're seeing the text, so-and-so took a donation and so-and-so went to a party and so-and-so had a selfie. So what? I want to know who was running the op that put the cameras in all the buildings and the yachts and in the congressman's vacation home in the Hamptons. Won't mention his name. I want to know who puts cameras there and who shares that information. You see, and it's going to take people from both sides to do it. This pretend world of, well, he's a Republican, I'm not talking to him because he must be what? Whatever the media's assigned to you and me. I'm a white male, pro-gun, Christian, pro-life, married, believe marriage is between a man and a woman. So you folks on the hard left or anywhere, you have your instructions. Oh, that's a white guy. He voted for Trump. He's MAGA. Oh, geez, don't even talk to him. And we listen to them. This is a dream come true for people like Mike Pence, who elbow bumps Nancy Pelosi on January 6th. Nice job. Nice job. We kept Trump from getting in. Nice job. This is a dream come true to these money guys, these big tech people worth billions of dollars who 10 years ago or 8 years ago were calling Trump a racist and a Nazi for his immigration policy. But now that he's all pro AI, everybody's buddy now. Republicans want to get an electric car because Elon Musk, did you see? He's back in the fold. He's back in the fold. Gosh, I wonder how Elon Musk got back in the clique. I don't think it had to be his personality. I don't think it was $400 billion. I think it was purely his personality and his ethics and his morals. See, nobody wants to have these conversations. Media should be having these conversations. Wait, I don't want to tell you how to talk at home. You do whatever you want at home. But I'll tell you, on the media has sold us out for decades. They've rewritten history. They've covered things up that should be exposed. They've protected Republicans and Democrats. The only people that get the pipe on that is the American citizen, you and me, the voter, the working person, the self-made. Maybe you're a self-made millionaire. You're an entrepreneur. You don't think you're getting hosed in this global deal where there's trillions of dollars going out to God knows where? until we stop and say, I don't care what you say about MTG, she's doing the right things right now. Until we get to that point, we're never going to move the needle. We're just not going to do it. It's not going to work. The only people that keep filling their pockets will be the people at the top. Now, I know you've heard this before, but this is why it continues. Now, here's something so revealing from a congressman in Tennessee that I have respect for, Tim Burchett, and he's talking about this bill, the trading ban that they should have put in Congress 100 years ago, because that's how so many politicians get rich. Politicians, that is such a sweet gig if you're immoral. If you're ethical, you're going to get attacked. You're not going to go to the right, you're not going to get invited to the right parties. You're not going to be, at Fire Island, and you're not going to be wherever, okay? You're not going to be at the Paris Art Show with so-and-so if you have the ethics and the morals. If you are just a little bit immoral, you can make a killing in politics because the money never stops. Why does the money never stop? Because you and I never stop working. And when we stop working, they tax our benefits and they tax our house. We never own our house. You have your house paid off, but what do you have to do every year? You have to pay the government for the privilege to keep your house, or they'll take it. It's the greatest grift in the world, ladies and gentlemen. The political system. Look, we have the best constitution in the world. Our setup is the best. Other countries fantasize about getting to the point where this country has arrived. But we've got so many bad players in the system. They're on the field. They're taking advantage of our laws. They're taking advantage of the Constitution. Why are there so many laws? Well, in addition to keeping lawyers employed, it's so people in power could get around the laws. You and I obey the laws. We've had this conversation before. We don't need 9,200 laws. We're good people. If you're a person of faith and integrity and character and moral and common sense, you don't need 9,248 laws every year. That's so the people at the top, like James Comey, can say, well, from what I understand, there were only 3 people that were paying attention on the grand jury, so that one indictment, that's not going to stick. So Hillary and Bill can say, well, you didn't give us the warning in writing with the right judge in the right district, so we're not coming in up yours. When we all know that in the real world, in the Old West, out on the street, people would be getting their face punched in, figuratively speaking. And the only way we break through this is stop the Democrat, Republican, the left, the right. We have to stop it. It's all theater. It's like your nightly news, ladies and gentlemen. They're actors. It's makeup, it's lights, it's teleprompters, it's scripts. My gosh, have you ever seen a major newsroom? You see how people rehearse their lines? I'm standing here in front of the car accident. Let me do that again. 3, 2, 1. I'm standing here and how long are we going to play to these people that keep pushing us in different directions? It's crazy. We have to snap out of it.
This thing is broken and it needs to be fixed. And this is the right avenue to do it. And I want to say something. I'm going to get these guys mad at me, but I really don't care because they can't vote in my district. This thing ain't going to pass. If we're going to pass something in the House, and then guess what? The Senate will either, one, not take it up, or they'll come back in righteous indignation and say, oh, we need to make this stronger, something totally ridiculous, and they'll send it back to us. This is a scam that's being played on the American public.
Thank you, Congressman Tim Burchett. Yeah, when I say it, I sound like a cynical or a skeptical radio guy or a podcaster, but that's the truth. Just like what we're going to see released if Trump signs it, which he will because that's what the polls are telling him to do. He's going to sign the Epstein thing. It'll be released. It'll be so redacted. It'll look like they used a box of Sharpies on it. And the trading ban bill, maybe when my kids are in their 50s, they're in their 20s now, maybe it'll be put in place. Do you think that enough Democrats and enough Republicans that are independently wealthy and like being called the honorable so-and-so from Washington, D.C., do you think they're really going to say, it's really unfair. We have an unfair advantage. Do you think anybody that has the advantage of Washington, D.C. power, be honest now, Republicans or Democrats, do you think they're ever going to give up what they have? They may play along and say, okay, in the future, I can't give my wife a dividend off this information. I get it. Okay. But do you think anybody's ever going to say, oh my gosh, we have such an unfair advantage? I mean, we get paid during shutdowns. Actually, there were several people that didn't get paid. You should find out who they are. Do you think they're ever going to give it up? Honestly, seriously. I refer back to, and Roger is the expert on this, the JFK files. We're still waiting.
And it needs to stop. Let's quit with this nonsense. Let's give America a reason to trust Congress for once in our miserable lives. This is our chance to stand up and say, we hear what you're saying, America. We're going to fix this dadgum problem. But we probably won't do it. And I'll remain ticked off the rest of the day because of this.
I love Tim Burchett. He says daggummit a lot, which is nice. Daggammit, daggammit. I'll probably remain ticked off the rest of the day. And just like John Kennedy and the rest of them, the reason we, the people, cannot get traction, the reason Mamdani got elected in New York is because the majority of Americans are so over the two-party system the way you've rigged it. It's that simple. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. Every single assembly in Pennsylvania, when the Republicans have power, they squander it. They do things like give us mail-in ballots or approve budgets that suck. Every single time you and I across this great nation, they say, vote for us, vote for us. We're MAGA, we're this, we're Tea Party. You put us in, we're gonna clean it up. Then they get up there and they say, sorry, we need another term. No, you don't. You all need to be voted out. The sooner the better. Maybe by this weekend. We'll be right back in the Stone Zone.
The Stone Zone. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Thank you for being in the zone tonight on the Red Apple Audio Networks, the Stone Zone. My name's Ken Matthews. Always a pleasure to be in for Roger Stone. This hour goes way too quickly. I say that all the time. My wife never says that though. She never says, you're not talking enough, Ken. You need to talk more. She might have said that when we were dating. I mean, if we were if we were drinking or whatever, but now it's, well, you married folks now. 800-848-9222. I can't leave without this. This has also been, on my mind today.
Come fly with me. Let's fly away.
Air travel is a miracle of American ingenuity. We build airports to launch a golden age of travel across the skies. We respected the dignity of air travel and the men and women who made the dream possible. Flying was a bastion of civility, but today...
I'm not doing anything. my seat back.
But manners don't stop at the gate.
That's right. Manners don't stop at the gate. Things aren't what they used to be. Some would call it the golden age of travel. Let's bring civility and manners back. Ask yourself, are you helping a pregnant woman put her bag in the overhead bin? Are you dressing with respect? Are you keeping control of your children? Are you saying thank you to your flight attendants and your pilots? Are you saying please and thank you in general? The golden age of travel begins with you.
Okay, so that's from the U.S. Department of Transportation, and it's one of the few government things that gets sent out that, you know, I say, you know what, I like that message. You're not trying to brainwash me. You're not subliminally moving me in a direction that I don't want to go in. Because I couldn't agree more. That was Secretary of wait, what was his? I know it's Sean Duffy, but what is his? Oh, Transportation Secretary. I was spacing out there for a second. Anyway, that's something that really bugs me, and I'm sure it bugs you. And I just think there should be a law that if I can see your butt crack, or if I can see if I can see too much of your feet, and if I can see your underwear, and if your pants are down above your knees, you shouldn't be allowed on an aircraft because you're too much of a slob to be on an aircraft. I mean, aircrafts they're tight ships. They're tight vessels. The people that fly them and operate them have their act together. I'm just so tired of some of the cruise crowd showing up on the aircraft and just being belligerent and rude, all of it. It's just ridiculous. I remember I first went on a plane in the early 60s, and I wore a suit. My parents made me wear a suit, or at the very least, a sport coat, and I must say I looked pretty sharp, 8 or 9 years old, in a sport coat. I had a little John Jr. vibe going, a little John vibe going, because that was my parents' era. I miss those days. I think if you're a slob, or you come on, you're having a big bowl of chili and you're pushing people, you should help pregnant women on a plane. You shouldn't impregnate women on a plane. I'll leave you with that. It's a good time to stop. God bless you. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to The Stone Zone with Roger Stone. You can hear The Stone Zone with Roger Stone weeknights at 8 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?